Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be creating some Halloween inspired apples. Okay, so these babies right here, let me pick them up. We're going to be making these. Okay, so this video is going to cover the design part of it, not the caramel part of it. The caramel, I do have a caramel apple class, but it is closed right now. It opens up next year, 2021, so make sure you look out for it next year. Okay, so something that I wanted to tell you guys is I have another live that I did last year creating these apples, but I used, instead of the little pumpkins, I used mini Oreos. Okay, and also instead of using airbrush, I use petal dust. So if you're interested in watching that live, I will leave a link in the description. I will leave the links for the molds, all that stuff that I use. I will leave it in the description box, so make sure that you look for it. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys take something out of it, learn a new tip here and there. And if you do create them, you do have plenty of time to order your molds. If you do create them, please post them on Instagram, Facebook, tag me. I would love to see your creations. And let's get started. The chocolate that I'm using is Merkin Super White. This was completely white chocolate, okay? And I colored it with Color Mill Orange. Okay, so the question that I get a lot is, how do I get bold colors? Like, how do I get bold colors? It's by adding a lot of coloring, you guys. Don't be stingy with it. Just add as much as you need till you get this bold color. So this was completely white, and then I colored it really bold orange. Okay, if you need help melting chocolate, if you're like, Danira, I never get this consistency, I have a video, I will link it in the description box, where I go over how to melt chocolate, you know, the stuff that can go wrong, so on, so on. Okay, so that, watch that video and it would help you out. Okay, this bowl right here is from Big Lots. I know Marshall's has it, TJ Maxx, Home Goods has it as well, on Amazon too. But it's a little bit more expensive, okay? But I will leave the link in case you guys don't have any of those stores or can't find these bowls. I'll leave a link for you guys. Okay, so I have my chocolate ready. We're gonna start dipping our apples. Alright, so I'm gonna take my apple and I'm gonna dip this all the way to the top, because I'm gonna be attaching the pumpkin ears and all that stuff on top. So I'm gonna cover it in all the way to the top, basically. Okay, and we're gonna shake off the excess. Okay, we're gonna set this to the side and let it dry. The next thing we're going to do is we're gonna work on the pumpkin ears. Have some fondant, and you kind of want them the same size. If your fondant is sticky, this is a little sticky on me, you can use cornstarch to cut down the stickiness of it. I'm gonna start filling them out and kind of see where we're at. You know, do we like the weight of them? Are they big enough for apples? You can get your apple and kind of place it on top. So I have my apples here, okay, and you want to, like, you know, kind of test it out and kind of see, does this look okay, or you know what, I might want to go a bit bigger, a little bit smaller. What do I want to do with this? Okay, so that's the way I do it. Okay, I'm going to knead my fondant, make sure that it's soft, okay, and then I'm going to roll it into a ball. So once we have a little ball going on like this, it looks nice and round, okay, you're gonna grab either, you know, fondant tools if you have fondant tools, but you can use just a regular popsicle stick, even a toothpick. And all we're gonna do is create indentations for our pumpkin. So we're literally gonna grab our stick and we're just gonna go in there and do this, kind of press in. You can create as much indentations as you want, however you want. So I am okay with this for now. I'm going to start reshaping it, kind of doing this to kind of make it go into my little pumpkin again. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the stick again and kind of just go in there wherever I feel it lost the indentation, wherever I feel it needs a little bit more. So kind of just use your eyes and kind of just play around with it. So I have that now, right? So I'm gonna go like this, kind of press on the top and the bottom and just turn it around like this. Okay, we're gonna be airbrushing, okay? So if you don't have an airbrush, you have two options. You can either leave your pumpkins just like this, your apples, just like this without airbrushing anything, okay? And they'll turn out cute. Or you can also do what I did last year, which was use petal dust instead of the airbrush machine. Okay, so I'll leave a link to that live that I did last year in the description in case you just you know, don't have an airbrush machine. So the two colors that we're going to be using is chocolate brown, and make sure that for airbrush, it's not gel color or candy coloring, it's meant to use for airbrushing. Okay, so brown and some orange. So I'm gonna put some orange first. That's what we're gonna use first, so you don't need a whole lot. Okay, so that much went in. The point to airbrushing, you guys, is to make the pumpkin indentations, you know, so it can kind of look like a pumpkin. So that's the reason why we're airbrushing and petal dusting and all that stuff, is to make those pumpkin indentations and make it look a little bit more realistic. That's the whole point. If airbrush goes onto my stick, it doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up with a straw. If you are using regular sticks that, you know, you're not going to be covering them up with anything, then make sure you put some type of, like, you know, like a paper or something like this here. Hold it while you're airbrushing. That way your stick doesn't get dirty. All we're going to do is create those indentations wherever you see. Okay, make sure you don't go super close to it because it's going to come out super dark. Not too far away either, because then it's going to go everywhere. So be precise of where you want it. So kind of imagine you're holding like a pencil or a marker and kind of just color in like this. And I'm barely pulling the trigger. This is the trigger right here. I'm barely pulling it back. Okay, so at first you're not going to see anything. You're like, this is not doing anything, but can you see that there? You see that? I created like a little line. That's what you want. See the difference between this one and that one? I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can. Alright, we're gonna do the next one. You're gonna get a toothpick. Okay, just like that. And then that way it's easier for you to airbrush. Okay, like this. We're gonna turn on the machine. And we're just gonna go in the little indentations. Just like that. Okay. Pumpkins look like right now, so you can definitely stop there and be done with it and not add the brown into it. But I'm gonna add some brown. So the brown adds just more like a shadowy look to it. Okay, so I did not wash the orange off. There's still, you know, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the orange is still in there. Not a whole lot, but you know, you can tell I didn't clean it. That's totally fine. Okay, you don't have to wash it. And we're gonna go back to that same, you know, the same indentations that we did. Create a little shadow. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Not too close. You don't want to be here. It's pretty far away, probably a good, I don't know, 3 inches. Okay, and all I'm gonna do is go in there. Okay, so that went super dark. Okay, you don't want that. You want a little bit lighter, but no problem, we're gonna fix that. Okay, so that happens to you, no worries. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit farther. And don't press the trigger too hard because that's what I did with that one. Okay, so that's kind of what you want. You see this right here? This has some brown in it. This is way too dark. You want something like this, okay? That's your goal. And we're gonna airbrush some brown into it. So we're gonna be fixing this one right here, okay? Because this is super dark. This is kind of what you want right here, okay? Not this, but this, okay? So what we're gonna do to fix this is we're gonna go add some orange coloring into our airbrush, okay? And then we're gonna go over it to cover some of that darkness, okay? So next we're gonna attach our straws, okay? So I like to cut down my straws because I find them way too long for my apples. I feel like it doesn't look, the proportions are not right, so I always cut them down, okay? This depends on the size of your apple, how huge it looks, you know, so on, so on, so on. Okay, so I have my straws ready to go, okay? So I like to just insert it just like that, you guys. I don't like to use hot glue or anything like that. It's just easier for me this way, so all I'm gonna do is insert it, okay? and then I'm gonna push in, okay? Want to be gentle, but push in and kind of twist it, and you're gonna feel it go in. So right now it went in. So if I pick it up, it does not move. We're good to go. We're gonna start doing the face, okay? So for all the fondant that I'm using today, I'm using Satin Eyes brand. These molds are from Elsa. I will leave the link for you guys to purchase. So she has 2 sizes. The ones you need for the apples is the large size. So I'm gonna knead my fondant a little bit. We're gonna grab a little bit of fondant and we're gonna make the eyes, okay? Just gonna push it in, and you can use either a rolling pin to do what I'm doing with my finger, or your finger. This is what you're looking for. Okay, we're gonna do the next one, and then we're just gonna push it out. See here? Make sure it's super clean. Okay, now take it out. Okay, so now that our faces are done, we're gonna move on to the little bow that I'm gonna put on Minnie. Okay, side note, you guys, very important. If you're gonna make your fondant pieces ahead of time, you definitely can do the eyes and the nose ahead of time and let them dry. But the mouth, you wanna do it fresh because you wanna be able to attach it around your apple. If you let this dry like this, it's gonna dry flat. You're gonna have a hard time attaching it to your apple. Okay, so you wanna make your pieces ahead of time, go ahead, but just the eyes and the nose. I'll leave a link for this puffy little bowl mold. It's not a mini mold, but I like the puffiness of it, so that's where I'm gonna use it. It's just like a puffy little bow, okay? The mold does come with a leaf here. Okay, so you can definitely use this and then do what I'm gonna do now. For these apples in particular, I decided to skip the leaf and I'm just doing the little, what is it called, you guys? A vine. I was gonna say a vein. A vine. Okay. And then I'm just gonna make it into a little rope. Okay, make sure it's not too thick, but not too thin either, because it's gonna break on you. Okay, kind of like this size. There you go. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my cake pop stick. Okay, and I'm just gonna twirl it around. Okay. So just like that, you see that? Okay. And you don't want to let it dry there completely because then it's going to be hard for you to take it out. So I like to take it out now. And it goes like this. So that's what you want. Okay, so. Alright, so we're ready to attach, you guys. We're ready to move on to the fun part, which is decorating. So to attach our pumpkin ears and all of this stuff, you can use chocolate, okay, or you can use this edible glue. Okay, I'll leave a link for you guys where you guys can find this. This is from Little Honey's Cakery edible glue. I love it. The only thing is that it doesn't dry instantly, just like chocolate dries instantly. It takes time to dry, okay, but once it dries, so that's why I like it. Okay, especially for fragile stuff, this is amazing. Pick out your front. You know, the front would be where your stick is standing up straight. Pick the front. Okay, so we're gonna start attaching the eyes. Okay, so we don't want to put a lot of glue or chocolate on it. It's just a little bit. It just needs a little bit. That's how much I put right there. Okay, So we're going to attach our ears, okay? So once you have the front picked out, you're gonna attach your eyes in the center. For the mouth, we're gonna do the exact same thing, okay? And we're gonna place it right there. So I like to attach the center first, and then I move on to the top part. We're gonna attach at the very top. Okay, so if you're using the edible glue and your ears are heavy, these will kind of want to slide on you. Okay, so if I do here, I can tell that it's coming down. You guys see that? Okay, so you're gonna have to hold it for a little bit, or you can use chocolate. If you don't want to be holding it for a little bit, you can use chocolate. Okay, so for me it worked. I just had to hold it for a little bit, kind of play with it, and kind of just like make sure it stayed at the top. Okay, like I said, if you don't want to do this, then use chocolate. So this is what it looks like. We're gonna attach our bow, and just gonna press on. Like that. Okay. Like I said at first, you guys, it's gonna be a lot of movement, but once it dries, that's what I love about it. That once it dries, it dries. I don't have to be worried about it falling apart in the customer's car or anything like that. Okay, and the last step is to add our little leaves. Not our leaves, our little vines. Okay, so literally we're just gonna attach like there. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of glue, and I'm just gonna lay it. Press gently. You don't want them ripping on you. Okay. That's it, you guys. Our apples are done. How beautiful they are. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Alright, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys are enjoying these shorter version videos. And I'll see you guys next time.